So mindset is going to be the catalyst to progress. And it's not going to be perfect all the time because you are a PCOS girly after all. But have you considered this? Or have you only considered that it's going to be harder to lose weight because you have PCOS? All of these words, all of these things are the same at the core of it. Insulin resistance, fasting, blood sugar, metabolism. There are going to be certain things that you have to cut out or that you're gonna have to reduce or whatever the case may be, but don't consider these things a hindrance. Consider it an edge that you have. Let me give you the perfect scenario. We have two women and we'll call them woman 1 and woman 2. Both of these women are the exact same weight. Woman 1 loves soda. She loves it, but she hates chips. Not her thing. Woman 2 loves chips. Can't stand soda though. Didn't grow up drinking it. Never really had a weakness for that. So woman 1 has no choice but to reduce or cut out, or significantly reduce or cut out the soda in order to see some progress because she knows that she's drinking a lot of her calories. Soda is packed with that stuff, okay? Going over to woman number 2 who doesn't struggle with drinking soda or drinking her calories whatsoever. She gets her fluids in, she drinks a lot of water, no problem, but she consumes those chips like crazy. She opens the bag and it's open, so that means she's got to finish it. Both women are struggling with some form of food intake, some aspect of food intake. And you can literally parallel this 1-to-1 with someone who has PCOS and someone who just doesn't. The person who left the comment saying that they have diabetes, it is okay that you have diabetes. That is your existence, that is your real life. I also don't know why you said something about swearing. I'm pretty sure I said like one bad word in that video, but whatever. No matter what, it is going to come down to your tastes, your actions, your strengths, your weaknesses, basically everything catered to you, which is why you want it to always be a lifestyle change. You don't want to do these pick and choose diets because it's not catered to you. We just want to capitalize on the positive health things that we already know, because there are little aspects of those that already exist in us. Like not all of us are just fully unhealthy or fully healthy, you know? That's ultimately like the biggest picture. With all of that in mind, I will never just leave you without some kind of resources and some tips and tricks to help you, get that extra edge. So I want to share some of the PCOS tips for movement, food, things like that I've learned over the few years that I've just learned about PCOS, thought I had it, and have also just looked up on the internet. Starting with food, fasting may not be the right choice for you here. Given the condition, eating smaller meals throughout the day, snacking more often might actually be more beneficial than fasting. Obviously, we want to be having more protein and less of the processed carbohydrates. And so that's all to say, like, don't just go ahead and cut out carbs altogether. I feel like that's what people really want to do, especially since you do have an insulin resistance, but that's not what you really want to do. You want to be eating cruciferous vegetables and carbohydrates that are leafy greens. And I know the word processed gets thrown around a lot, especially in today's climate, and especially if you are American. But the easiest rule of thumb, obviously, 2 things. 1, if you can't say or understand the ingredient, probably shouldn't be having it. And 2, think about how far the food is away from the actual source. And I'm not saying to ever just like cut out processed foods altogether or the overly processed foods altogether. We're trying to establish a new normal here, right? If you're American, getting veggies in is hard enough, especially when the drive-thru is readily available. Really try to cut or significantly reduce the Mickey D's, the BKs, and the TBs, okay? Let it chill for a bit, let it chill for a season. At the end of the day, I know it can be very easy to get bored of foods, but don't you think there is a reason that you're not getting bored of the drive-thru foods? Because they're putting all that shit in there that they don't need to be putting in there that's got you hooked. Got the mind and the body hooked on that stuff. I know it is super normal for people to go to the drive-thru all the time, but that's also why they have these healthier options. These healthier options are never going to trump eating at home because you are able to actually see the ingredients you are putting in. If you have to limit yourself because you are a PCOS girly, struggling with food, struggling with eating out, and that is what's really hindering you, like, you have to get real. You're not eating healthy foods 99% of the time and not seeing any weight loss progress. You know what I mean? You have to find the balance and that new normal. It's been on that same foundation for many a year, and it just needs to be upgraded. Next is movement, which I know can be very difficult if you have not been in the practice of getting movement in or doing exercise for a long time. Exercise is crucial for everyone, but if you are a PCOS girly, please capitalize on the fact that you can do a little bit more lifting. You know, those testosterone levels are a little higher, so you can capitalize a little more than somebody else can. Another thing, start taking multiple walks throughout the day. As weird or as difficult as that sounds, we're trying to establish a new normal, and I did come across somebody on my own feed who lost a significant amount of weight just walking multiple times a day. 30 minutes walk, getting up and just, you know, walk around for 5 minutes, because those things really do add up, accumulate over time. And that's why I always will say establish a new normal, because if that is a very normal action for you to do, then your body is probably going to look a lot different, as I saw in that video as well. And obviously HIIT workouts, very high intensity workouts, are great. I just wouldn't obviously recommend those things if you're just starting off in the beginning, or if you're really not trying to just like quit, because you're gonna hate your life if you just jump into high intensity, literally. If you are obese, I do hear one of the greatest ways to really see some progress or some significant weight loss is to do walking and interval sprinting, like for like 30 seconds in between your walks. So it's like you're walking and you're just walking, and then you sprint for 30 seconds and you just go back walking. Like, I guess when you're doing the constant up and down of that heart rate, you know, you're doing more of the fat burning type of thing. I know this isn't the first time you're hearing something like this. Next is mindset. Accept that this is your life. That this is your life. Your body is constantly talking to you, requesting certain foods, requesting movement. Listen to your body, please. I know it is super comfortable to always go back to the foods or habits that we have always had, but there are plenty of foods and habits that I know that you enjoy more than the unhealthy habits. You just want to lean into the ones that you already know, that you have, that you exhibit those types of qualities. Like I said earlier, no person is just all unhealthy or all super healthy. So it's just, you're trying to lean more of those habits and aspects of yourself into that healthier side. Boredom is obviously going to be a major aspect of this as well, but there are foods that you know that you enjoy, you've probably forgot about, and there's so many more that you have yet to discover. These are the moments where content and stuff really comes in handy, because this is where you're gonna find those recipes that people have already found on accident, or things that people are already obsessed with. Naturally, it's always gonna come down to, are you taking these things into practice, and are you actually about that action, baby? You actually about that action? But I hope this video helped some of you, most of you, somebody. Leave some of your favorite creators, PCOS creators, that have helped you along the way, and leave any recommendations for videos that you want to see from me on the channel down below as well. And other than that, thanks for watching, and I will see you in our next video.